Let's see. Hey, everybody. Ryan Hodge, GI operation with Black Folk Hotspots. And today, I don't even know what episode this is. What is this? I mean, we like rolling on. I'm trying to get to, I want to get like 1,000 episodes, but today we're on episode 14 and we are on live with Julie Holloway um, of JMH Enterprises, I think. But no, she's the author. She has like something really unique going. She's doing like the cipher of books. And so if you know like hip hop ciphers, if you watch, the BET Awards or whatever the award show to do the ciphers, she's doing that with authors, with entrepreneurs, and I think that's a really cool deal. So we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to talk about some other things as far as her business and why you should be doing business with Julie Holloway. We got Julie. Say hi, Julie.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
And we wanna kind of briefly touch on just jump right into it. Give our audience, tell them a little bit who you are.
Sure, absolutely. I'm Julie Holloway, and I'm an entrepreneur, um, a graphic designer, an artist, and an author, as Ryan said. And graphic design is sort of my, 24/7 full-time operation over here. I've been doing that for about 4 years full-time and about 7 years in all. And just as I launched into full-time entrepreneurship just about 4 years ago, that is when we started our book series. We call it TEW for short, but it's the entrepreneur within you. And we just really excited to share some of the things that we have going on, some of the events that are happening, and appreciate this opportunity.
Awesome. And it's really pretty cool. And it's things that I don't know if although that's something that I would probably do, I don't know if I've ever would have thought of that. Of putting all these authors together, and I think I would have done it. I don't know why. Why did you go about with your books per se? Why did you do it that way? With instead of you just writing things about your journey, but why did you bring in other entrepreneurs?
Well, it actually it's kind of interesting how it happened. It was at first when I left my corporate job, I basically went through just a whole series of like ups and downs and various situations, and about 90 days into that I began writing, and I never thought I'm going to go ahead and start writing a book. I really just began writing sort of as a journal, maybe, wanting to quit so bad, how I was going through, how I was going to do it afterwards, like what it was like, and what I was going to do next. And once I got a really good just collection of stories, I guess, from my own perspective, I sent it to a colleague of mine, and she said, you really ought to consider publishing this. And I had just co-hosted like a little workshop with a friend, and we called it The Entrepreneur Within, and it was basically like 5 steps to becoming your own boss. And so after we had that experience, and I began writing all about it, a couple people said, you should really consider writing, and publishing it. And then a few others that I sent it to, sort of my portion of it, somebody said, you know what, I think that you should publish this and then like include a bunch of stories of a variety of different types of entrepreneurs, and really like get the detail from them of how they became, and what it all entailed. So it was a suggestion of a friend, and then it basically just, I started kind of talking about it and sharing it with a few, and a lot of people wanted that same opportunity to, to share their story, and just, needed sort of an outlet or a platform to do that. So next thing you know, I had sort of reeled in about 18 different people, and that's where we cut it off, and it just became this really, heart-inspiring project for me, and that's what I worked on sort of on the side for like my first year, working for myself, and it just has grown. It really has. The outcome of it was basically, a huge collection of stories of people in many different, industries, and have experienced many different things, just sharing very openly, their journey throughout. And it's just blossoming. We just published the third one, and I'm just really excited about that. Something for me is just, hearing other people's stories is what really kind of keeps me going as well. So.
That's a cool little journey in itself, because that's pretty much how Black Folk Hotspot started, for real. It really started with me. I was always a blogger. I was always, looking product services and blogging about them, and and being an affiliate marketer, because it was money on the internet. And I'm like, wait a minute, people are buying stuff. Well, if I can recommend, and it's funny, one of the first things that I knew that really took off was two things, actually. I was in the mortgage industry, so I would blog about mortgage stuff, and develop those relationships with the readers, and then they will start to inbox me or email me and say, hey, I'm looking to refinance my house. Can you do it? Or, call me up tomorrow, and so I can do an application, or I'm looking to buy a house, and this, that, and the other. And that's how I will get my leads. And the company that I was working for said, you're not calling these leads that we're giving you. And, they were like, and the district manager's like pissed. He's like, we're spending all this money, but you're not making any phone calls, for these leads. And, and I asked him, I was like, well, asked my branch manager, I said, well, am I hitting my quota? He was like, well, yeah. What about my team? Because I was a senior loan officer. So I had a team, and he was like, well, yeah, your team's doing well, and this and the other. Are they making their calls? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what's the problem here? And so he's like, all you're doing is playing on the internet all day, right? And so I went out to my car, and I grabbed my laptop, because and plugged in. And when I did that, I showed him my inbox. And this was on MySpace where I started doing this. I also had, my personal blogs and things like that. But MySpace gave a different. It had some things from prospecting tools that many people didn't know about. And he looked at my inbox, and he was like, "Wow, dude, you know what?" And he gave me this little bow thing, and he was like, "You know what? Carry on, do it. I'll handle the district manager. Keep doing what you're doing." But the mortgage industry closed up. I moved up north, Chicago, I took a job with a company in Vernon Hills, and they relocated me, and I couldn't find anything to do. And so I would use my personal blog, and I would talk about the things that I would find, little hole in the wall joints, little places, little events that's going on, and I would post them. And then looking at my stats, I realized that people were searching Google and Yahoo and Bing for the same things I was posting. I was like, whoa. And then one night I woke up, and it was like, hey, why don't you do what you've been doing for yourself, but do it for, for Black business owners, for events and things like that people may be interested. So it started with just things that I would like to do. and then
Right.
then it's now blown into over 2,100 people, an audience of like 250,000 people, and we're just going and going. Now, I have my question is how for your authors, because I mean for your entrepreneurs that are authors, it's because there's so many of them, and I know you're associated with so many because of your other business. How do you choose them? Are you picking your clients that you have, or are you just like, any, mini, miny, mo?
Yeah, no, not necessarily picking anybody personally, for any reason. It's really just been evolving over time. Some people have come to me and said, what is there a process or what can I do to, be part of the next book? And there wasn't any like formal application or anything like that. It was, we would have a chat or a meeting on the side and just really talk about the opportunity and see if that was something that they wanted to do and that they were comfortable with sharing their story. I mean, because some were really interested, or people that I would meet and think, oh, they have such an amazing story. I think it'd be really cool, to share in this way. But some people don't want to, they don't want to be that transparent about their adventures as an entrepreneur. So some people I asked, some people came and really, really wanted to be part of it, and we talked through it, and it became real for them. Other people, I've actually had a few say that were in the first book that said, I'd really like to make a recommendation for somebody to be part of one of the future books. And, so they would make that introduction, and that person may or may not have read the book and had some interest. So it's just come in many different ways, many different relationships. Some have been, more friends. Others have been clients that I sort of knew. And then others are complete perfect strangers that, someone brought them here saying, I really think this person should be part of this. And that's just how it's come together. Nothing totally formal, or, there's a lot of those book series going on where you pay, $1,500 or $2,000 to be part of it. It was never anything like that.
Oh man, and I thought you were getting like millions of dollars. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's funny because that is it, isn't it? In college, I had a professor to tell me that, first of all, it was my business management, and on the first day of class, he said he was going to tell us a few things that if we listen to him, we can walk out of this class and go to the registrar and withdraw from the class because we didn't need it. And I'm sitting there like, huh? I mean, it's like, who says that, right? And and I'm like, this guy's crazy. But then he asked, who in here is taking this class because they want to be a business owner? And I would say that 75%, 80% of people hands went up. That's what they wanted to do, and they were taking the business management or whatever, and as part of their curriculum. And he said, and then he said, well, here's the deal. Here's what I suggest. You can do it if you want, but this is a suggestion. He was like, go out and read books on every entrepreneur you can think of. He said, and you don't need this class. He said, because if you go out and read all these entrepreneurs' books, most of them tell you exactly the stories they went through, the pitfalls, the problems they had. Then you get to read how they overcame, and and what kept them going, and their family histories, and all these different things. He said, because what happens is if you read 10, 15, 20 of these books, all that input goes into your head, but it comes out, is coming in, but then is all formulating one output. So basically what you're doing is basically the same thing that he was saying. It's because all these different stories, and they are different. And then so when, as a reader of these books, when you read something like, man, I went through that same exact thing. Oh, this is how this person overcame this, or these journeys, because everybody's journey is different. And I try to tell, when I'm talking offline and consulting with my clients, I tell them so many times, don't fall for a lot of the stuff that you see, because I'm gonna tell you, being an entrepreneur it's the hardest job I've ever had in my entire life. By far, it's the most rewarding, and sometimes it's the one that doesn't pay, as much as it did when I worked in corporate America. But I'm the happiest. I said, so a lot of times you look at these people, a lot of them, you might see them getting a new car, buying a new house. I said, don't get caught up on their Facebook business, because they're not going to post to you. Most people won't really give you those struggles that they're going through outside of Facebook. You'll see all the great things. Oh, my kid just started school. Oh, we just went on vacation. Oh, we just did this. Oh, we just did that. But then, then they'll call me. I'm like, Ryan, how do you get more clients? This sucks. I'm gonna have to go back, and I'll be like, look, and because I know so many of these people, I'm not gonna bust them out or this, that, and the other, because I know that we all went through the same things. Right. And so that's why I like this. That's why I like this project here more than anything else, because, and it was almost why I started these interviews. I tried starting it like 3-4 years ago, but it was it drove me crazy. I couldn't figure out exactly, the time and this, that, and the other. But now with the, technology just improvement, just made it so much easier. Because wasn't it easy to book this interview? It was easy. When I came across this program, and it's because a company that I use, one of the CEOs did it to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a large tech company. Yeah. One of my tools, and one day, I got I don't know if it was me specifically, but it was one day I happened to go log in, and a little pop-up said, hey, would you like to schedule an interview so we can talk about, what you like about our product and what you don't? I was like, yeah, why not? Or he was like, no, I know what it was. He was like, do you have any feedback for us? And I did, believe it or not. And he was like, well, you want to jump on a hangout real quick? And then he was like, I'm like, yeah, sure. He was like, and he sent me this link. He was like, just click here and pick the time.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, what? Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. The greatest thing since working. But and that was pretty awesome. So I said, I told him, I said, hey, I'm more interested about this tool you use to book this time slot. And we talked about that for about 10 minutes. He was like, yeah, he said, it is great. But now I want to move into what is your primary business? I mean, I'm following you on Instagram, so I know what you do, but sure. And I think everybody should know what you do, because I think you're probably one of the greatest, and I've heard so many great things. But and then and I see you're growing a little entrepreneur too, so that's pretty awesome. It reminds me of me and mine. So this kid got more money than I do,
right?
And she likes to spend it. But I had to have a little talk with my daughter the other day, and I was like, listen, I know you're making money, and I know you're making good money. I said, let me tell you something. There was a time when Poppy had, shitloads of money, and he thought that water faucet would never shut off. He spent. I mean, she just bought like a $500 next this next board. It's like a, I don't know if you've seen them, but uh, what's the thing that the people be on where they ride standing up and they ride like a Segway?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The Segway tour.
Yeah, she just bought one of those.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and and she was like, I did my research, and this is the best board, and this that. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? How much was that thing? She was like, oh, it's like like $600. I'm like, what? And
Wow.
but yeah, so and she was like, I get it, I get it, I get it. But yeah, so tell us about your business, um, the one that really pays the bills, the one that you're really really good at.
Thank you. Yeah, my primary is graphic design. It's called JMH Creative Solutions, and basically we design, we print, and I do a lot of artwork as well, like murals and paper paintings. But the graphic design has been growing. I basically taught myself about 7 years ago to the day, and that was really my segue out of being stuck in a corporate world. Um, for a few years, I did both and just kind of grew the clientele. And at some point, I had enough design clients where I couldn't even really focus on my job anymore, and I didn't really want to. So it kind of helped me like force my way out of my last job, and we're coming on about 4 years of working from basically working out of the home full time, and I have a wide variety of clients, a lot of entrepreneurs and startup businesses, a lot of like small retail type service and product oriented shops, couple doctor's offices, and more like corporate type clients. And I'm just really grateful that it keeps on going. And I mean, like you said, some months are great, other ones it's like, oh, we gotta step it up a little bit. But it's a lot of tedious and continuous work, and sometimes you need a little break in between. But right now, I mean, I'm working on maybe 10 to 12 different projects, plus like an art festival in Houston, and possibly may become like a designer at a local university here for a couple hours a day. So just, I always tell my husband, just, we got to keep, the opportunities open, because there's so many people that need these types of services, that don't have in-house design or marketing organizations. So it's been really neat, just to keep going and working with many different, different partners, like web people, PR people, print shops, t-shirt shops. We all just work together, and it's like a virtual little agency. So that's what I do, from 9 to 5, basically. Try to keep a nice balance of creative work, meetings, and time for the family.
Now I got a question, and this is probably like the last one for you, because I did notice, well, just listen to you. I know that you work from home, and and you're married, you have a family. How do you juggle that? Because I know that people no a lot of people don't realize that when I'm at home, I'm actually working. So I'm like, so there's a lot of times when it's can you do this, can you do that, and I'm like, what? I mean, I'm like, no.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and it's hard. The summers are tough, when the kids are at home and I can hear them downstairs playing, and I'm grateful my husband is here during the day as well. So I mean, he kind of takes over and keeps some of their stuff going down there because I'm constantly working, and I need the quiet time, like to have calls and to have meetings. But it's been interesting. Just my kids are 8 and 13, so I mean they do some of their own stuff, but they're still like here, and they need us. So I try to shift my schedule. Like in the mornings, I don't just wake up and work. I used to wake up at 7 and just start working. Now, I try to go out, either have a meeting or work out, come home and start my day later, like 10:30, so that I feel like I've done some things for myself first before 10 different clients are calling and emailing and texting and messaging me. Like, that is overwhelming at 7:30, 8 in the morning for me. So I just learned to kind of take some time, start the day off right instead of stressing out. And then I work till like 5 or 6. I don't work as many hours as I did in the beginning because it just became a little unhealthy working round the clock. And then in the evenings, I may have calls here and there, but I try to take a few hours, for the family and just to do different things, before everyone's back in bed.
That's
kind of how the day runs, and then the weekends we're either having book events or, being part of vendor opportunities or, taking weekends off to help, make candles for the kids' business and do art and, do things that kind of help you recharge. But it's taken a few years to get to this point because I quit corporate and then next thing I knew I was still working like 15 hours a day from home, and
right.
My husband's like, wait a second, this is not what this is not what you signed up for.
Right, exactly. Okay. So I lied. I got one more question. What is one thing that if you would tell a brand new entrepreneur, if they came to you and said, what is one piece of advice you would give that person, knowing what you know now versus 7 years ago?
Yeah, I think the one thing I would say is just always hold close to you is remember why you started. And I have to remind myself that quite often. Like, I started because I needed a creative outlet, but I really started, like, my business because I needed a way out of, secretary job for 15 years. I knew I needed to make a move into, like, working and living a creative life. And so for me, month after month, year after year, like, all these ups and downs, I have to just keep telling myself, like, remember why you started, because I don't want to go back to, to the place that I was at when I had to start this journey. And that keeps me going, and it reminds me, of why I wanted to do this in the first place, or, what I need to change a little bit to make sure I'm still, like, living truthfully in that direction that I wanted to go, or that I want to go. So that's
and that why is awesome.
That's my advice. That's the biggest piece for me.
That's great advice too, because I always tell people that that the one thing that I wish that I had a mentor early on, and it would tell me to leave the house. That was the one, leave the house, because I would just sit there and because you'll burn out too by putting in too many hours, so you have to do some other things. But
Right.
Julia, hey, I really, really, really appreciate you coming on to talk about your business and things you have coming up.
Thank you.
Real quick, I mean, I'm gonna give you the final word to tell people, what you have coming up, how they can contact you, how they can get more information about, about your graphic work, how they can get your books, and then we'll wrap it up for today and we'll talk soon. So I'll let you have the last word.
Great. Well, if you need any creative, graphic design, printing, marketing, our business is called JMH Creative Solutions. And on the web, it's www.jmh8ive.com. Our office line is 630-855-3351. And if you'd like to check out more about the TEW books and the series, that website is TEWYOU.com. And look forward to talking to you again soon. We have a couple events planned, August through October, and we'll definitely keep you posted on those through our network page and also on the website, the TEWYOU.com. That's where I post all of the events that we host. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. It sounds like a plan. I'm telling you, definitely go check out her graphic work because you'll want to hire her like yesterday and pick those books up because those are the things that are most important, especially if, you're going at it alone and I know that me reading other people's stories let me know that I wasn't the only one that was going through something. So because your family and friends that are not entrepreneurs would never really understand exactly the things that you're going through. They look at it going, hey, how come you're not making $1 million? You're a business owner. You're an entrepreneur. Right. And it's like, wait a minute. And really, I don't think that they have anything, they're looking at you in a negative way. It's just that this is the perception that they have. And, because, a lot of times we forget that people, you didn't start off as an executive manager at your job or wherever you started. You might have started off entry level and you worked your way up, so it's the same way in business, but it's more, to me, it's more rewarding. But I just hate to see business owners quit. So I'm always trying to help them, even if, I don't charge them because maybe they don't have the money. Because I think that we quit too soon because it gets tough and it's easy to go back to work for someone else. That's easy. That's the easy thing, but also there's really not a lot of reward, a gold watch after 30 years and a retirement party. You know what I mean? My mom just retired from the school system and her retirement party, which was cool, but it was a group retirement party. It was like 50 other teachers retiring.
Right.
I'm like, I mean, I guess that's cool and all, but it's like, wait a minute, I almost felt bad. I said, Mom, we got to have our own little retirement party for you because you should be the only one being celebrated for putting in all these years. And that's how companies and things do things. It's like you're just a number. But anyway, thanks, Julie. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we're gonna wrap up. But if you're watching this, you can go back, you can replay it, you can share it. I appreciate if you do. Subscribe to our channel. If you're a business owner, go to blackfolkhotspots.com and create a profile so that we can share you, introduce you to our network, and put you through the system. And then, you know what, maybe you can be the next person we're interviewing. And don't forget, you can go to bfhsnetwork.com/support BFHS and pick up your own Support Black Business shirt. We have them for you. And the links to reach Julie are in the description. So you, as well as for the shirts and also to sign up to and get into our interview queue. Thanks for listening. This is another episode of Support Black Business TV with your host, me, GI Operation. That's me on Twitter. Ryan Hodge, the CEO of BlackFolkHotspots.com. Peace. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Peace.